All this new and improved from the Jester. Hello. How are we? Look, got the glow again. Love it. Right, now. A little bit something different today for you. I've come across an article written by a young individual in America. I'm not going to tell you who and I'm not going to tell you where. Because, you know, it doesn't actually matter. And that's what today is about. It's about the fact that this could... Some twerp drilling something now. Life in town, eh? It actually doesn't matter who this person is, so I'm not going to tell you. But I will tell you that it was written by a sophomore, which I believe is a very early year person, and is about, well, you'll see what it's about, okay? And I wanted to show you an idea of how these young people, once inculcated in the cult, will then repeat the mantras in an attempt to shore up their own dodgy belief systems. So I'm assuming this person is around 18 or 19 years old and is in college in the United States. And first we'll begin with the mission statement, and then we'll end with it. You can see whether they're achieving their mission. The mission statement states for this particular journal, which this young person has written for, that this is a non-profit newspaper made for and by students. It seeks to serve and inform the community by printing journalistic work that seeks truth and reports honestly and accurately as it distributes high-quality content. Right now, while I'm doing this, get yourself a bit of paper and a pencil and do, you know, the bar thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Count the lies, right? Count the untruths, falsehoods and lies. In recent years, anti-transgender legislation has devastated the rights of trans people in the United States, and it's no secret that conservatives in power are the direct cause. However, the arguments and contributions to political discourse made by a specific and often overlooked group of people have also had a significant influence on the elimination of trans rights. So, the contributions to political discourse, this is the speech of the critical social justice nonsense, isn't it, eh? Right, so they've got an overlooked group of people who have had a significant influence on the elimination of trans rights. I mean, overlooked. Who on earth could it be for me, as someone who's been involved in this for a while, or perhaps you watching now and people like you, who could be this overlooked group of people who have also had a significant influence? Oh, it's Terfs. I've never overlooked a Terf in my life. Terfs, or trans-exclusionary radical feminists, right? Talk about late to the fight, kid. I mean, I know that you were probably 4 when this started. Right, okay? But you do a bit of research, kid, eh? Just a bit, right? Right. An overlooked group. Bloody hell, where's you been? It's hilarious, I love it, it's great. Right, so here we go. Often utilising arguments that trans women are tarnishing the idea of what it means to be a woman. Well, they are. They are, right? Or reinforcing gender stereotypes. Yep, they are. This is pure queer theory in writing. They are, right? Terfs have become increasingly dangerous as their movement grows in popularity. It's all that knitting and crocheting and making of things and posters. They've been leafleting and upsetting people. Apparently increasingly dangerous. Can you imagine? Belle Staffy or Jane Claire Jones on a horse with a... Come at ye! Nonsense. But this is largely thanks to their prominence on social media. Dear God Almighty. You know, people have fought to stay on social media, let alone prominence. They've been silenced wherever they could. Not only is their rhetoric hateful and misleading. How many lies so far? How's the Bargate thing looking? Right, how many lies so far? But their surface level proximity to feminism allows them to easily disguise themselves as progressive and appeal to people across the political spectrum. I thought it was the Conservatives that would cause the problem. Right. I love their surface level proximity to feminism. Right, so other than, the fact that we've got some of the leading feminist thinkers in the world on this, right, which we have, let's be fair, right, that have done a deep dive into feminism like most people never ever would or may not want to, right? That's what we've got. According to this child, they're not a child, they're an adult, I wouldn't be doing it. So it's fair game now if you're 18, kid, right? We're on you. Not only is their rhetoric hateful and misleading, but their surface-level proximity to feminists. Do you know what this means? If I was to use a sort of a nature-based metaphor, as opposed to sort of really digging deep into this, what you're doing is accusing radical feminists like Belle Staffy and Marjorie and Jane Clare Jones and some of the great thinkers of our time of being pond skaters. Can you imagine? I can see my mate Marjorie now. That's a great line. Surface level proximity to feminism. I love it. It's great. Right. So, just so they can get every trope in the book in this ridiculous article, this young person then puts, in 2020, J.K. Rowling. The author of the Harry Potter series. It's just hysterical. They think people are uninformed about this. That's because you're 18. Right, it's because you've been around 5 minutes. You twerp. She posted a series of tweets, all claiming that trans people erase the struggles of cisgender women by suggesting that biological sex does not exist. Well, that's exactly what they were doing. Through this comment, though this comment was met with immediate criticism from members of the LGBTQIA+ hands and bumps and daisy community, right? Her rhetoric garnered a shocking amount of support as well. Shocking for whom? It's 2022. You were 16, I think. Were you sitting around being shocked by an author? They're so inculcated in it that this person gets up in the morning, and goes, what can I be fucking offended about today? Twat. She also successfully re-energized the online Terf movement that welcomed her message of hate and false female empowerment. They're absolutely deranged. They've hurt this young woman, whatever it is. They've hurt him. They, because they are they. Of course they are. They over there, one with their hand up. Right, so, of hate and false female empowerment, that's surreal. Ultimately, Rowling seems to have benefited from her ignorant statements. Not one, kid. Prove it. Not one. Well, she might have lost favour with one community. Which one? The LGBTQI hands, knees and bumps and daisy community doesn't even have a website. Just a disparate bunch of power-hungry wankers. Right? She seems to have benefited. Her contributions to Terfdom. Terfdom. I love it. Terfdom. Have given the movement mainstream exposure and presented it in a way that is palatable to a wider audience. What, you mean the truth? I've run out of gates. The acceptance of her statements also seems to have inspired other celebrities like Bette Midler and Macy Gray. I try to walk away and I stumble. I put a spell on you. They've recently come forward in support of similar Terf ideologies, right? Further promoting the idea that it is acceptable to transphobic as long as it is from a feminist perspective. No, I'm not a feminist, mate. I'm not a feminist, and many of the gay men I know aren't feminists either. Fucking what do you know about shit? You're 18. Based on Rowling's continued success. It is evident that Terfs have been and continue to be organised and strategic in their actions, granting them alarming power in politics. Oh, God, really, you should go back to just, playing with your own shit in the closet. Because you don't know what you're talking about, kid. In Tina Vasquez's article, It's Time to End the Long History of Feminism Failing Transgender Women, which is, it's another lie. Feminism can't fail transgender women because they're men. That title should read, in Tina Vasquez's article, It's Time to End the Long History of Feminism Failing Men. Feminism failing men. They don't even know what feminism is. I mean, they've done no research. In this, she argues that transgender's people's inability to access government-funded healthcare under the Reagan administration was greatly influenced by feminists who were against transgender people for the sake of reducing sex role stereotype. And you fucking think... Right, I'm just going to order another delivery of Gates. Incidents like this still occur today. School boards and local governments, where individual opinions can be accepted without being properly critiqued. They are what they're saying other people are. This is pure projection by a very young person who's been taught this crap by teachers who should know better. Yeah, well, one day they'll be seeing through the bars and then we'll see how well they see. Whether it be claiming that trans women using the women's bathroom threaten real women, and real women... As if there's a category. There's just women, you twat. And then he goes on about sports and hateful legislation is consistent with language regularly used by Terfs. What, you mean the language of facts? Oh dear. Claiming that they are sticking up for women's rights, Terfs that are doing nothing but sticking up for women's rights, claiming. Often exploit labels related to social justice to reel in newer, less knowledgeable feminists without them even realising it. It's like there's some sort of turf middle, which is spinning like the fastest washing machine in the world. And this centrifugal force is bringing in all these new turfs, these feminists who don't realise they're going to be inculcated into turfdom, which believes that women are women and men are men and female is female and male is male. God, the horror for these young people. Although it appears to move slowly, the influence of turfs on other in power is and will continue to be harmful on a massive scale. Where do you go with this? Terfs do a good job of colonising feminist discourse. They wrote it, you cockwobbler. They wrote it. You can't colonise something you wrote, you tosspot. Given that the opinions of Terfs are often employed by conservative right-wing politics. I haven't met one. I mean, you could go with Ellen Joyce at a push as being a little bit to the right, or rightist. I've never met one. They're all mad lefties. They know they are. I love them for it, but they're all mad lefties. Right, okay. Therefore, right-wing tactics are associated and woven into turf tactics. So you're all right-wing. You're all Nazis. They also tend to manipulate events to aid their arguments. For example, turning a transgender woman winning an athletic event into a supposed unfairness towards cisgender women. Right, that should be changed as well, shouldn't it? For example, turning a man winning an athletic event into supposed unfairness towards cisgender women. Politically, Terfs and Conservatives fundamentally benefit the reactions of one another. They don't, you absolute moron. And the reason that they don't is because you're so far left right now, you're playing... Licky Bum Tongue with Mao, right? You're a nutter. You're a leftist nutter, okay? By excluding transgender women, they are enforcing the idea that women must adhere to rigid standards to be considered real women. No, you just have to be a woman. We have to hear that again. I'm sorry, we do. By excluding transgender women, they are reinforcing the idea that women must adhere to rigid standards to be considered real women. No! Just have to be a woman. Thus, they are attacking women's rights altogether. What, for excluding men? What, you... Gates everywhere! The sentiments are hypocritical. They validate the very ideas and traditions that they claim to be challenging. No, they don't. That's what you do. Simply put, if you're not fighting for all women, you're fighting against them. He's fighting for everybody. Stick on a dress and I'm your man. He's fighting for everyone. That's what he's saying. Simply put, if you're not fighting for all women, you're fighting against them. They are women, you daft twat, right? In leaving Terf ideology to thrive with little resistance, for God's sake, I've never known anything more resistant to common sense, reality and facts than critical social justice and all its various septic teats, right? What is this person talking about? It is crucial that Terfs are exposed. We're not hiding, right? People that don't want this shit are not hiding. I'm on video. For what they truly are before the damage they have created becomes completely irreversible. The damage they have created becomes completely irreversible. They're talking about themselves. It's the transgender movement, it's gender identity ideology, it's queer theory, it's all that. That's the stuff that's doing the real damage. And this person is having to lie to themselves all the way through their article because they are probably 18 years old and they had the wrong damn teacher. Tea. TERFs pose a direct threat, not just to transgender people, but to the essence of feminism itself. It's insane, isn't it? Ultimately upholding patriarchal standards rather than eliminating them. Who says that the standard of what a woman is will be decided by patriarchal men? It tickles me, you see. Novelty factor. Because it's queer theory. This is a page of pure queer theory. To ensure the permanent protection of trans people, we must be willing to call out ignorance and hate when we say ignorance. It's ignorance not to call a man a woman. Just like, rather than allow it to spread and pollute the minds of others on its own. People's minds are going to be polluted by the truth. This is just wibble, right? Okay, I repeat again. How many gates? This young person needs to just grow up. I laugh, but it's serious. This is what's coming out of colleges. This is what they're teaching in schools. And you think it's bad now? You wait till the primary school kids they're trying to get their hands on now have this kind of power. You wait until they get this kind of voice. And there's far more of them than there is us. You don't think this is Maoism? You're living in cloud cuckoo land. They are really, really going for this left-wing utopian crap again. Wankers! So I will read to you the mission statement once more, and you can tell me in the comments how many gates, whether or not you think the mission statement has been achieved. This is a non-profit newspaper made for and by the students. It seeks to serve and inform the college community by printing journalistic work that seeks the truth and reports honestly and accurately as it distributes high-quality content. Well, in terms of your first year at college, I would like to say that you have failed in every endeavour that you've been trying to achieve because you're full of shit and you've said that you wouldn't be. So there you go. How many gates have they fulfilled their mission statement? See you later. Fucking madness.